Hi, everybody. This is episode 1 of our documentary podcast called Desert Plants. So we're in the desert right now. It's actually right next to my neighborhood, as you can hear the car. And I have my dad with me to help me. Even though the desert is really safe, you never know if a snake comes in or something like that. I'm running Creosote. They're a plant that has leaves, fuzzy little flowers, and blooms yellow flowers. So we're on the hunt for creosote. I think it's still about to bloom, and they smell like rain when you put them in my hand. That's why it's my favorite. And check this out. So cool. But we're looking for one that has blooms and it's extra fuzzy. And they have another official name that I forgot about, but it's not really now. And also, as we go along, you see a whole herd of creosotes. And we're looking for one as a good example that you can find in the spring or summertime like this. And at the moment, we're coming here at sunset, and it's really beautiful. Just look around. You can see people. It's very beautiful. And as we continue on our path, see a bit more creosotes, and we're getting closer and closer to getting flowers that are blooming on them. And it's my favorite to walk here because it's good exercise, but also it's beautiful to come up here. And also, that's why I made the podcast. And it's episode 1. And it's called Desert Plants. For our next episode, we're going to do cactuses with the little yellow fruit on them that some people in historic times, long ago, they used to use to eat. But you shouldn't eat them. We're looking at more creosotes very carefully. We're currently in the Sonoran Desert right now in Tucson, Arizona. And we're not in the Sonoran Desert. We're not stranded. Our neighborhood's over there, and there's a path here that goes here. It's kind of like a little reserved space for our neighborhood, but it's like a desert. And a lot of houses use a little bit of this land next to our neighborhood as their backyard. Speaking of which, there's a little hut that we might explore. I don't know if it's a part of someone's backyard, but it's a very interesting to look at. It's been probably puzzling the whole neighborhood for, well, as long as I lived here. And I think that mystery should be solved by me on the Desert Documentaries. Okay, I just found a creosote right there. It looks a little white. No, not really. But this creosote, it is losing its smell a little bit. It is a little burnt, so I think we should keep moving. Maybe this one. Guys, we found it. Okay. Well, we found the fuzzy flowers, which look like this. Did you get that? Yeah, fuzzy flowers. But there's also yellow flowers and they're super beautiful when they're on together. This one smells really good. Sometimes you have to like scrunch it in your hand a little bit. Yeah. And they're famous for their yellow and fuzzy flowers. And they're also very famous for their smell. And I'm going to tell you the story about how I found out about creosote while we were walking down this beautiful path. It all started when I was meeting up with my cousins. I think it was a birthday party, maybe. And we were outside. And it was pretty close to the desert. And then one of my cousins, wait, was that a creosote? Oh, it's fuzzy flowers. See, I love yellow flowers. Back to the story. My cousin told me to put one of the creosotes in my hand, scrunch it up a little bit, and then smell it. And it smelled like rain. And I said, wow, how did you know about it? And she said, my little secret. And I'm like, okay. And then I told my brother about it later and how my cousin told me about it. And it turns out that she actually didn't know about it at the time. My brother told her about it. And ever since then, I was always interested in creosotes. They've always been one of my favorite plants. I've had a lot of favorite plants, but I think creosotes are definitely one of the top 5. They're very beautiful to look at, and they also smell very good, and that's why they're famous. And I'm next to the saguaro right there. And before we say goodbye, and we're going to go to the front to see if there's any creosotes that we might have missed. So before we say goodbye, we're going to do that. And also, I'm very excited about this. I don't think that one creosotes are in full bloom with fuzzy flowers and yellow flowers right now, just because it's kind of the end of spring and a little bit of the start of summer. And they do start... Whoa! Now let's have a look at these creosotes. Yellow flowers, yellow. I think we found one. Look at that. Let me see if they're... Oh, false alarm. Those are just burnt leaves. But I think we may have seen one in the front. Let's go check it out. I really like coming up here to the desert. It's really nice and relaxing. Right now, a dog is barking. But once you get to the tall desert, right there, it's a lot more relaxing. Now that looks like a promising creation. Let's check it out. And I think we found it, guys. Bring the camera closer. Look at we have little fuzzies and also little flowers that are about to bloom. And that was our first episode called on our documentary about the desert. Stay tuned for our next episode and make sure to subscribe.